This is the Uptick Newswire Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com and Equities.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube to stay up to date on penny stock news and interviews, public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world, with your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, I'm bringing you a brand new company that I found on my radar about 2 or 3 months ago. We're talking about Nexeon Medsystems, Inc. They trade on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol NXNN. And what they are a medical device development and manufacturing company. They focus on providing innovative neurostimulation products that improve the quality of life of patients suffering from debilitating neurological diseases. And with us today is the CEO. We're very lucky to have him, William Rosellini. William, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate the invite.
You know, you recently announced a large NIH grant to develop your DBS technology. I think it was around $830,000. What can you tell us, and where are we at in that perspective?
Yeah, we've developed what's called a neurostimulator for deep brain stimulation in patients that have Parkinson's. So it's much like a pacemaker, fully implantable device, except we put the wire, instead of in the heart, we put it in the brain. And we're able to replace the broken neurons with electrical signals that we put out from the device, and that treats certain symptoms associated with Parkinson's. Our device is different from other devices that have existed over the last 20 years because it can not only stimulate the brain, it can record its signals. The NIH has awarded us a $1.5 million grant over 3 years, of which we got the first half, to develop artificial intelligence to allow us to understand the signals from the brain and program the stimulation in a more efficient and better way for the patient.
That's incredible. So you open up the brain, you insert this into the brain, and it stimulates the brain cells. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's right. When you have Parkinson's, your dopaminergic neurons begin to die. You replace the chemicals with drugs, but eventually those drugs start to fade in their efficacy, and your only option is to replace those dying neurons with electrical signals from a device. There's been about 150,000 patients that have been implanted with deep brain stimulators, mostly with Medtronic's device.
Right.
So it's not a new procedure. The difficult part of the procedure is personalizing the stimulation, which can take up to 30 hours per patient, and then finding the exact stimulation parameters that work for all of their symptoms.
You know, you recently announced that you were developing a product to treat the withdrawal symptoms of opioid abuse, which we all know is a huge problem in America. Can you give my listeners a little bit of a status report of where you guys are at on that?
Yeah, we have a second product line in neurostimulation where we're using an external device to stimulate the ear canal. Within the ear canal is a place called the 0 point, that's been used in acupuncture to activate a lot of different nerves. We're activating the branch of the nerve in the vagus, which is a nerve in your neck, and in doing that, we're able to balance the autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system. When that system is out of balance, you get symptoms of withdrawal, heart palpitations, sweating, headaches. This is what happens when you take opioids out of an addict system. They go through the withdrawal symptoms. So we are optimistic that we're going to be able to address the withdrawal symptoms in the 5-day period post stopping opioids. We've applied to the FDA's fast-track innovation program and expect to hear back in Q4. Our ambition is to have a product on market in the summer of 2019.
Is that the submission you guys sent to the FDA?
That's correct.
My guest today is William Rosellini. He is the CEO of Nexeon Medsystems, Inc. They trade on the OTCQB, NXNN. This is a company that I love, and I'll tell you why I love them. First of all, their market cap's only around $15.7 million. And if you look at some of their metrics, in 2016, they did $1.4 million. 2017, they did around $3.3 million. When it's all said and done in 2018, they could do anywhere from $7.5 to $9 million in revenue. Very undervalued company in my aspects. In the second quarter of 2018, they did $2.8 million in revenues in the second quarter. That being said, William, where do you plan on financing the growth of the company, and how do we go forward?
Yeah, so currently we're a very thinly traded closely held public company. So I own close to half of the common stock. Don't take a salary, so really participate with just the common. We've done a S1 filing, and we've got National Securities and Maxim as our investment banks, and we hope to close a financing round in the fourth quarter.
You know, my listeners that are listening to this right now, what would you like for them to take away from this interview?
Yeah, I think that the age of neurostimulation is moving from the big mainframe computers of the 1950s to where these devices are becoming smaller, applicable to the nearly 600 diseases of the nervous system. If you wanted to participate in a company that's been running a lean process, employee owner-owned, with a lot of really exciting technologies that are coming out, along with a core manufacturing business that's growing, I think this is an excellent time to get into Nexeon. It's very underfollowed and has almost no volume. So there's a lot of value that we think we can unlock over the next 12 months.
The stock is currently up around 50% today, trading at $4.50. Take a look at Nexeon Medsystems, Inc. I think it's a winner. That's my personal opinion. They trade on the OTCQB under the ticker symbol NXNN. And with us today is the CEO of the company. William, I want to thank you for stopping by. Is there anything that we didn't get a chance to touch upon that you would like to illustrate to my listeners before I let you go?
No, I appreciate the time today. Thanks a lot.
This program is entirely sponsored and produced by Uptick Newswire, LLC, which is responsible for the content. The opinions and information provided on this program are those of the guests and those of the respective companies they represent, and do not necessarily reflect those of the staff or management of Uptick Newswire. Uptick Newswire encourages all listeners of this program to do their due diligence and research when determining investment strategies that will work for them, or to seek the assistance of an investment professional. The guests of this program may have paid for its distribution and are not directly affiliated with Uptick Newswire or this station.